pet hate is being indecisive, and that's exactly what I'm being at the moment. I wanted to plant out my onions, my leeks and eventually garlic, but I have just found some more flea beetles. I've sprayed them and I've squished them, but all the time I've still got them in the garden. I really do not want to be planting out any more alliums. So these are my onion sets. I've got 50 of the Autumn Champion and 50 of the Red Winter, and I think for the time being I'm going to sow them in modules and keep them in the greenhouse until I'm happy that the flea beetles have been rid of. I have got netting, but when I actually read the back of the packet, it says it won't necessarily stop them, which is so frustrating because I bought the Enviromesh particularly for that. Oh my goodness, that was yesterday. I went from plan A to plan B, and unfortunately, I don't think it's unfortunately, I've gone back to plan A, and I'll explain to you why. In the summer, those of you that have followed me for some time know that I ended up with an infestation of flea beetles on my leeks, and I had an insect net up, but they managed to get through it. So bearing that in mind, and the fact that I found them in the garden again, and I was worried about a repeat infestation when I plant my next lot of alliums, I decided that I would get some new netting. I had another lot of netting which I've used in the past, but it was so stiff and really difficult to manage, I decided I didn't want to use it. So I wouldn't use the mesh that I used in July. I wouldn't use the old mesh that was really stiff. I'll order some more netting. So after a little bit of looking around on Amazon, as you do, I decided on the Enviromesh, which obviously is very well known. But when it arrived, I looked at it and I thought, they're going to get through that. And when I read the blurb on the back, as I've already shown you, it makes it clear that it's not necessarily going to protect from the flea beetle. So with all that in mind, I decided yesterday, right, I've got no choice, I'll sow all my alliums in modules, and then I'll decide what to do later on. But I was not really happy about that, so I've dug out the old mesh, the stiff mesh, and had a good look at it, and I think that is going to be impenetrable. Is that the right word? Impenetrable. So back to plan A. I am going to plant out my onions and my leeks and eventually my garlic in the bed, in the garden, but I'm going to use the old mesh, and I've got it here, and it is really stiff stuff, but I'll show you a close-up of it and you'll see the difference. So yeah, I'm being very indecisive at the moment, but we're definitely back to plan A. So this is the Enviromesh, so this is the other mesh, so I don't know if I can get the two together. I actually think there's no contest, so I'm going to have to battle with that, because I say it's quite difficult to work with, but I think it's going to be effective. So that's all the onions and the leeks are in. Those leeks will pull themselves up straight once the roots start to get established. I'm going to put the netting on for now. I've left a space down the middle for the garlic, but that's for another day. Oh, I'm just about done now. The netting is too wide and only just long enough, so it's been a bit of a fiddle, but I may have to tweak it another day because it's starting to get dark now, and I'm going to go in and I need those market stall type crocodile clips to go at the top. I've just got pegs at the moment. Hopefully the little blighters won't be able to get in there. That's it, I'm going in. It's a bit foggy this morning. So between jobs, I've just made myself a nice cup of coffee. So I thought I'd go and sit in the summer house for 5 minutes, but I thought also I'd just show you the green manure that I sowed about a week ago. So these are clovers, ryegrass and white mustard. So how fantastic is that? Let me take you up and show you the other bed. So this is the second bed. It's been disturbed a bit because young Mr. Paddy's been on here a few times, but I'm sure it will continue to grow. I'm pleased with that. So we've had so much rain again today. It's about lunchtime, but it's rained the whole morning, so there's just absolutely nothing I can get done at the moment. So before I wind up this video, I thought I'd just talk to you about what I did yesterday. Now, I've just shown you my green manure, and the reason for sowing that is that it's got the ability to draw out all the minerals and nutrients from the soil and capture it within their leaves. And then the idea is that you chop it down when it's sort of matured, before it sets seed, and let it rot down in the soil, and in doing so it releases those nutrients and minerals back into the soil that you would have otherwise lost from runoff. So in common with the green manure, there are other plants that all come under the umbrella of dynamic accumulators, and one of those is nettles. So it's very easy to capture this nutrient-rich resource by making your own nettle tea, and I know that many gardeners do this anyway. I never have, and as I don't have nettles in my garden, I've had to go out with a carrier bag and some gloves and go and collect them from the wild. I did this when I was out walking the dog one particular day. But anyway, I managed to get a bag full and I brought them home. I chopped them up and I placed them in a bucket, filled it up with water, covered it and then left it for about 5 or 6 weeks. And in that time, all those concentrated nutrients have been released into the water. So yesterday I decided to take the lid off. Oh my God, it nearly knocked me off my feet. The smell was appalling. And I got the opportunity yesterday to decant it. I was able to fill up two 2-pint bottles, which I'm really pleased with. There's still some left in the bucket, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to top that up with more water, and the next time I go out with the dog I'm going to collect some more leaves and put in there. But to use this fertiliser, you need to use 1 part to 10 parts of water. That's how you dilute it, and if you use it liberally, it is really good for plant health. It has antibacterial properties, so it helps the plants to fight any sort of diseases and resist pests, simply because their immune system is stronger. So yeah, a brilliant resource. Doesn't cost you anything at all, virtually no effort whatsoever, and I would say a must for every garden.